Hello everyone, myself Namrata Kishnani, Assistant Professor, the Department of Management, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences welcomes you all in this module of Cost and Price Determination for Entrepreneurs. In this we will be covering Introduction to Price Determination, meaning of cost and the type of cost, the various yardsticks or the factors which affect the costing, then the importance of pricing decision, the beneficiaries of the pricing decision. Let's begin. Pricing strategy or cost determination is one of the most important and strategic decision of the organization for the success and determining the profits. The expenses incurred in production of goods or services is called the cost. An entrepreneur should possess the knowledge of material, services, overheads, labor like salaries, electricity, etc., which goes in the cost of production for quoting the appropriate price to the customers, which is bound to give success to the organization, or otherwise he may have to wind up the business if he will not be able to make up the margins, that is the variable cost and the other fixed cost to run or operate the business. Therefore, the business or the accounting gives you an appropriate measure to determine the cost in the monetary terms of each and every product or the service provided by the organization in terms of financial aspects, that is for bookkeeping or meeting the various expenses of the business to keep it running and operating smoothly. Pricing of a product is highly strategic to ascertain not only the present aspects but the future viability of the business too, for taking the future course of action, the activities which are profitable, feasible and obviously give a good returns to the business. Cost is highly strategic in terms of business plans or proposal also, as for any new venture, checking the feasibility of the business for availing the financial resources from the investors or bankers, ensuring that the revenue streams cover the cost estimates properly, is the cost benefit analysis, which has to be taken as a foremost step. If the costs are underestimated, it can result in a cost overrun, which means the cost will be much more higher than the income generated and thus will be losing money or winding up of the business. While if they are overestimated, it may lead to paying a higher interest or the higher cost of funds for availing the money required to run the business, thus keeping unproductive real idle resources. Thus it implies the importance of the cost or pricing decision. Therefore, to analyze the impact on beneficiaries, the production volume and the sales volume for scaling up the business operations or sensitivity of profit for in terms of cost is the foremost step of each and every business. The yardstick of price determination is the function of 3 C's, which can be said or called as the actual cost of a commodity, the competitor's price for the similar or a substitute product, or the customer's perception or response to a particular price, as fixation of the price is determinant on these 3 particular important factors. That is, what will be the cost of production in terms of the direct material, labor, resources and the other overheads involved, what will be the competitor's response to our pricing strategy, that is, he may counter the pricing strategies of the organization by altering the utility of the product or by reducing the existing price of the product, by changing the packaging or the labeling, by pushing much more money in advertising to push the product in the market, or changing his marketing strategy. It may be anything. Next, the customer's perception to the price of a product, as price of a product generally sets an image for the product and the organization. Too reasonable pricing also gives a consciousness of a low quality of a product, and too expensive pricing or overboarded pricing also detains the customer from purchasing the product. Thus, the factors determining the price, which are product cost, that is the cost of production of a particular product or a service. Often you might have visited even a doctor who charges you a consultancy fee. He is not selling something, but obviously he is charging something. Why? Because obviously he has to pay the rent of the clinic, he has to pay the salary of the nurse or even the other helper, that is, or an assistant which is whoever is there. He has to pay for the telephone, the electricity bills and all. He has to bear all the other operational or the overheads. Thus, the cost involves all these other items or the ancillary things also, along with the time and the expert advice that a doctor is providing you. Thus, the cost of a product involves all the direct related cost of manufacturing a product or the service, or it may be the indirect related cost also. Then the second point is the utility of the product for the customer. It depends on the customer or the consumer's perception that what will be the utility of the product or the service that you are giving him. Right now, let's say for example, after this digital disruption, we have seen the prices of smartphones or the laptops increasing magnificently, which actually calls for the technological revolution and the necessity of all these items in our life, and thus we are much more in a position to pay for them as we have a huge dependency upon them. However, after coming of the laptops and the smartphones or the tablets, we have seen the prices of the desktops have reduced. Why? Because of obviously the limitations which are there with a desktop, that you have to work at a particular place, while the laptops or the tablets can be carried over to any place, so they are portable and much more handy. Thus, it emphasizes the utility of a particular product for the consumer or the customer, and the amount that he is able or he will be willing to pay for that particular product. Next is the competition or the competitor's pricing strategy. As we have seen, there are many local companies which have actually been put down by the international competitors in their same industry. Why? Because they have a huge cash reserves with them. While on the other hand, we have seen companies like Amazon who are having huge pile of cash reserves with them, and they are able to beat the competition that the Flipkart had given them with the first entry in the Indian market scenario, or being the leader in the Indian scenario. Why? Because of the competitor's pricing strategy. As we have known that Amazon is well known for giving us the discounts or the mega sales and all these things which have actually pushed up the competitors' pricing strategy, the products or the services that they have provided, and so as they are able to meet or compete the other competitors. We have also seen the same in line of, let's say, the real fruit juices, which entered the Indian market scenario when only the soft drinks were available. Obviously, the direct competition was the soft drinks like Coke and Pepsi, but with the later entry of Tropicana or let's say Patanjali juices or many more, we have seen that the price of real fruit juices have taken a little beating, or they have been adjusted to meet the competition in the market. The next is the government or the legal regulation. There are various essential items like the pharmaceuticals or the medicines which are being regulated by the government authorities so that they are not overpriced and sold in the market at a higher rate, as these are the items which should be available without any income class. Thus, the company has to set forth a price which is acceptable to the government or the legal regulatory body. That is, next point, the organizational objective. Each and every organization has its own objective, either of profit maximization, or it may be the market expansion, or it may be the brand building or the equity of the organization. Let's say, for example, when Crompton Greaves came up with the LED bulbs and they have priced the product at some 800 or 900 rupees, but with the later entry of other local players into the market and the other international players like Philips too, the prices of the LED bulb came down to 350 rupees, and that created a huge margin from 350 to 850 and giving a ground to other competitors to enter in the market, and also negative image being carried by the customers, as they had paid 850 rupees for a bulb which was now available at rupees 350. So it obviously gives a negative publicity to the company. Similarly, there are companies which have sourced some local cheap quality products, or it may be any other adulterated products to actually reduce down the prices, but it has reduced the quality or the image of the company, thereby creating a negative image for the company. But on the contrary, as we have seen, Maruti since its inception have priced the cars at a reasonable price, have made a huge volume of sales and captured the market share, obviously beating the other high priced competitors like Skoda or Volkswagen. Thus, the organizational objective, whether the profit maximization or the market expansion, also determines the pricing strategy. The next objective is the marketing objective of the organization, which may be the market penetration, which usually happens at a very low cost, especially followed by the FMCG sector, who enters in the market and sells the goods at a very low margin to increase the volume of sales and to capture the market share. While on the other hand, we have companies like Apple or Sony who use market skimming pricing strategy to price the product at a little higher range, to use the R&D or the higher benefits or the features of the product or the delivery that they are giving to the customer, and obviously building that image of a highly profitable or highly leveraged brand. The other objective can be the market expansion, which is normally done at a reasonable or a low cost price. The other marketing methods like advertising, the promotions, the sponsorship are also one of the very important feature which determine the price of the product. As we come forward, that is, the costs are usually classified according to the relationship with the level of output of the firm or with the activity. That is, to simplify, the cost can be determined based on fixed cost, the variable cost, the semi-fixed cost or the semi-variable cost, and the total cost, which is usually based on the output. That is, at a certain level of output, the cost is going to remain fixed, but in long term, when we have to increase the output or the production, the fixed cost also changes. Thus, the fixed cost is a cost which remains the same without varying the output at a certain point. That is, the rent, the office salaries and the other expenses that have to be managed from the business. While the variable cost varies directly with the proportion of the output which is manufactured. Let's say a company who manufactures 100 units at a price of rupees 10, and when they started manufacturing 120 units, then the price increases from rupees 1000 to rupees 1200. That it is directly proportional or variable to the production unit. Now there are semi-variable costs also. These costs are the mix of fixed and the variable component, which are usually can be compared to the commission which is paid to the sales agent or the salesman. That is, up to a certain limit. That is, if he is generating a sales of 100 units, then he has to be paid a fixed salary component. But if he is actually generating a sales exceeding that 100 units, let's say 150 units or 200 units, he will be paid a certain commission or an incentive. Why? Because he has generated an extra sales for the company. Thus, he is able to perform his duties in a much more efficient manner, and he has to be awarded, rewarded or motivated for the same, which comprises the semi-variable cost. There are some costs which are semi-variable in terms of the furnitures, the fixtures or the operating cost of the production unit also. As even if the production is zero, then also there is some the fixed cost which is attached to it, but as the production increases, then the cost of running the machine or operating the machine also increases. The total cost is the sum of fixed cost, the variable cost and the semi-variable cost. That is the aggregation of all the previously discussed cost which goes in the production at a particular level of output. The fixed cost is normally a parallel or a horizontal curve to the x-axis, as with the level of output the cost remains the same, while the variable cost is an increasing curve from x point or the point of origin, that is, as the units or the output increase, so as the cost increase, while the total cost is a curve which starts from the fixed cost curve from a certain point, as it is the total cost is going to be there because the fixed cost is going to be there even if the production is zero. Let's simplify it. Let's say, for example, if the production is zero, the fixed cost is 1000 rupees even then. So the total cost will be 1000 plus 0, that is 1000 rupees. But when the production starts, let's say 10 units of production is there, and for every unit of production we have 10 rupees as a cost. So 10 into 10, 100 rupees is the variable cost, 1000 rupees being the fixed cost. So the total cost will be 1000 plus 100, that is the 1100 rupees. Now as the production increases, that is, let's say the production increases to 50 units, the fixed cost again remains the same, that is 1000 unit. Then the variable cost will be 50 into 10, that is 500 rupees, and the total cost component will be 1000 plus 500, so it will be the 1500 rupees. So total cost curve starts from the point where the fixed cost curve starts, that is up from a certain range, that is not from the point of origin, right? Now, the second bifurcation or the category of cost can be the direct cost or the indirect cost. The direct cost is the cost which is directly related to the output, that is the cost of material, labor or any other expenses like the carriage inwards, the wages, the freight. That is the cost which is applicable for manufacturing a particular product or at a certain level of output. Direct cost is more appropriate for a firm that makes more than one type of product to account for the cost which goes into the production. Let's say, for example, Unilever, which manufactures famous soap series like Lux, Synthol or Dove. So the cost of production which directly goes in Lux, Dove and Synthol will vary. So to charge or price the product upon the direct cost which is attached to it, while the indirect cost is the cost which is not directly linked to the production, but the certain other overheads or inputs which goes in the production for carrying out the business operations smoothly. That is, as we have taken the example of Unilever, in that single plant of Unilever, Dove, Pears or other line of soaps are also manufactured. So the indirect cost, which is the salaries which are paid to the people for transportation, that is the carriage outward, or it may be the office supplies and all, will be distributed among all these product line, while the direct cost will be directly related to the production of a particular product, right? So these are not incurred for any one product, but it ensures the smooth production or the business operations to be carried forward. Thus, it is the cost of overheads which goes into the production or supplying or the services or the goods. Now we come to the importance of pricing determination. That is, the first and foremost, it fixes the quantum of production and sales to be achieved for covering the cost of production by fixation of the sales price. Secondly, it helps us in achieving the distribution target in terms of sales area, in terms of volume, in terms of cost coverage, or in terms of market share to maximize the profit in terms of market share, in terms of revenues, or the company's or the organizational objective. Next, it helps us to determine the demand, as we know that cost or the price has an inverse relationship with the demand. Thus, as we price the product at a higher amount, the demand decreases, and if we price the product at a lower point, then the demand increases. The company objectives should match with the demand objectives also. That is, what is the company looking for, whether it is the market expansion, product penetration, or it may be the higher returns of investment or other opportunities that the company is looking for. Prices influence the market share to gain the competitive advantage and builds the company image. That is, we have seen companies like Apple who have priced their products at a higher range to demand for the supreme or the premium quality products, the research and development which is going into the product, or the services that they are offering. Thus, it creates an image of the product and the brand in the minds of consumer through the price which are demanded. The same as we have seen for Skoda or Volkswagen also, for the high quality precision engineering in the automobiles. Next, price covers the cost of purchases, distribution, promotion, and the other stakes of the business. That is, for all the productive activities for ensuring the efficiency and the higher returns of investment, pricing covers it up for all. Next, price determines the success of the business and the future course of action or the organizational goals that it aims to achieve with the increased market share, the expansion of the business, internationalization, the social responsibility of the business. Thus, it achieves it for all. Lastly, we look forward to the beneficiaries of the pricing decision. So, apart from the management or the organizational ownership, the promoters, who else is actually involved or the beneficiaries or the stakeholders in the pricing decision? They are workers or the employees, the government, and the customers, of course. That is, the workers or the employees wants to know the price of the product or the pricing strategy to determine the profit margins of the company and how they are paid. That is, that whether the company is paying the right incentives or the salaries or the perks to the people who are behind the production. That is, the profits being shared by the workers, employees, and the other people, the stakeholders who are in the success of the organization involved thoroughly. Next, the government, who wants to assess the pricing strategy of the organization from aspects of the income tax, from aspects of the pricing standards of the industry, the tariff plans, the cost control, to monitor the price in terms of the nature of the product, whether it is an essential or a non-essential product, how much the government is earning from the particular production, or who are the stakeholders involved. And lastly, customers are the most important stakeholders of the pricing strategy of any organization, as they pay the price for the product or service delivered to them. They want to know not only the pricing strategy, the objective of the organization, but also the measures to control the price and the efficiency and effectiveness in delivering the product and the service to them, thereby benefiting the real stakeholders or the customers. With this, we come to the end of this topic. Hopefully, you have understood it well, and will be remembering in your line of business. Thank you.